City is very, very special and it's very unique. I mean, I've been here for, what, 6 years now?
You're an old hand, you've got to teach me.
Something.
Morning, Shaima.
Morning.
So, why did you become president of the Students' Union?
I realised that there are a few challenges, issues that I saw and I faced myself. I thought the best way is for me to actually get inside the Students' Union and change things. So I was the vice president last year. I think I realised just the actual potential. There's just so much that I can do, so much to change, and so much opportunity. So I wanted to essentially run it again.
Now, here's my confession, which I think you may know. I was a Students' Union officer and I was a member of the Students' Union executive, and I also had a responsibility at one stage or other for running the Students' Union bar. And I will never do that again. It's extremely difficult. So you went to study law, you came here to study law. So where did the law come from?
From just my family's experience, really. My dad, he left Tunisia due to political reasons. When we came to the UK, we actually came as refugees. Throughout my whole life, I've just been asking myself, why is it that I couldn't go back to Tunisia? I didn't know my family in Tunisia. My dad didn't have a trial, let alone a fair trial. And it was just all these sort of accusations because of his political activities, really. And my mum studied law as well. She was actually a lawyer in Sudan.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So I can see that the legal gene is quite strong in your family.
Yeah. But I've always had, a strong sense of, justice. And I guess just the injustice that I experienced led me to that, because I always say to myself, I don't want anyone else to go through this. Strong sense of I need to bring justice, which is quite naive, but I still have that mindset to an extent.
No, I think if one doesn't preserve that sense of what's just and right, then that would be not a good thing for a lawyer. So no, I absolutely understand.
I remember my parents were very strict on us growing up. They would only allow us to speak Arabic at home because they just wanted us to understand the language and to have that sort of attachment to our culture.
I think it's really fascinating because my parents, both refugees, but they were always really keen on us speaking English.
Okay.
If I was to speak German, I would somehow not really assimilate in quite the way they wanted. So we always spoke English at home.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. For my parents, it was the opposite. They really wanted us to have some sort of attachment to, Tunisia and Sudan, to our culture, to our religion. So Arabic was a big part of it.
But religion was an important thing, and certainly when I was growing up, there was certainly that strong sense of religious identification with being Jewish, but that didn't stretch to the language.
Okay, interesting. Just a side point, I know you have a connection to City, and I was just wondering what that connection is.
Yeah, sure. So my dad was a professor here. He joined when it was the Northampton Institute and saw it through to being a university. City was part of my upbringing and childhood. That wasn't why I'm here. And it's quite important for me to say that. That wasn't what drew me here. What drew me here was the creative potential of the place. But I think my father also, he saw City through a period of significant change. So that historical association doesn't make me afraid of facing up to the things about City that may need to change as we develop.
What do you think needs to change?
Well, I'm very focused on one particular thing, which is how to develop for City a distinctive identity. Finding what's special about this place and projecting it outwards.
City is very, very special and it's very unique. And I think, I've been here for, 6 years now?
You're an old hand, you've got to teach me.
Something. There's something really, really special about City. I would say that there is so much potential in our students, and the conversations that I'm having with those students, you learn something new, essentially, after speaking to any student.
And we're going to say I'm really looking forward to the students returning into a university without its students in it is like a bit of a ghost town.
Yeah.
that sense of aspiration that City students bring and the raw talent that we have in our student intake. Our students are looking to us to give them life opportunities. I think I also am quite keen that we have more role models and we bring more practitioners into the university, celebrating the people from outside who are bringing some of that motivation into the institution will be something we can do.
Yeah. I think, that notion of understanding why you're studying and why you're doing what you're doing, I think it's really important and needs to be sort of embedded within every single stage of your university degree because, being a student is very difficult. You're not just a student, you have, so many other responsibilities and you can forget, why you're studying and you can lose that motivation.
What do you want to achieve in your year?
I've understood that it's very hard to sort of change everything within a year. Change just takes time.
Can I say
Yeah.
that itself is something we might need to change?
Yes.
So our ability to be collectively fast and agile is something we're going to need to change.
Yeah. And I think the pandemic has sort of exposed that. The need to be able to act swiftly and to change things very quickly. One of the biggest challenges, I would say, will be mental health, and it's something that I really, really want to address. Again, the pandemic has just made things worse, and a lot of our students will be, suffering from mental health issues, and we as an institution, we need to take that very seriously and be able to respond to that, to see our students and to support them so they are able to excel in their studies, to progress, and to become the future that we need.
This is a quite extraordinary cohort or several cohorts of students who've had these very unusual experiences. They are both tougher but also more exposed.
Yeah.
So I think we just need to be very conscious of the specialness of this moment.
Yeah, and ensuring that our services are able to cater to, the 20,000 students that we have.
And we're absolutely stepping up those services and working hard on making quite sure that they have the cultural skills to address the diverse student body we have.
It's something that we speak about a lot, is this sense of community, and for a lot of our students, they don't feel that, and how we can make our students feel that they belong to City, essentially, that it's another home for them, and they have that community here. I think those feelings, do improve the mental health of our students, the well-being of our students. One thing that we found through our research and that we conducted last year is students want like a personalised student experience. They want to be able to be communicated with in a way that is preferred to them, in a way that they can access.
Shaima, I'm really attracted to that idea of putting personalisation at the heart of our strategy. But I think we need to move beyond being generically student-centred to being much more personalised, offering many more personalised learning experiences, offering much more personalised communication. And that's quite a big transformation of the way we work, the way we communicate our systems. That's a big practical challenge.
Why can't City be the leading institution in terms of that? I think that would be absolutely amazing. The third priority for us, it may be a buzzword, but I think decolonisation. There is a lot for us that we can do and we should do actually to decolonise our curriculum, but also the institution itself, the services that we have. So going back to the mental health, making them culturally competent, that is a form of decolonisation.
I think that can be a really important meeting point for students and for academics in talking about the content of the curriculum and what's taught. And what more could we as academics want than actually our students to be deeply engaged with that question.
Exactly.
So I'm really welcoming of that. And I also think that it's in the professional subjects where some of the deepest seated challenges lie, and I think we should address them. Our students are going to operate in a much more complex cultural and global environment as professionals, and they need to have the skills and curricula which equip them. There's a bit of worry about this year, about getting it right. What I want to do is, is perhaps not give students the traditional
Yeah.
learning experience, but something better.
Yeah.
Lecture theatres packed with students doing learning in the traditional form, that's not where we want
Yeah.
to be necessarily.
Yeah, it goes back to the personalisation, the smaller classrooms,
Yeah.
the one-to-one teaching or small groups of teaching. I think that experience, that personalisation that students have asked for and need.
Yeah, I agree. I think that combined with the peer learning, which is something which can happen in part digitally, but actually also needs something substantially in person.
Yeah. Okay, what is your vision for a city student?
What I'm trying to really build is a rich and distinctive experience for city students. I want to meet their aspirations for themselves and for the sort of jobs and careers that they can have. How about you?
When I see like a leader, an expert in a particular field, I want them to have some sort of connection to City, to have studied at City, for City to foster that sort of environment where students can become the greatest leaders in whatever field that they choose.
I think aspiration, connection, community,
Yeah.
those are pretty good shared themes, I reckon.
I agree.